officials Brian Dorsey, Paul Sells, Tim Comer. Bruins at 9-5 in conference play. Their highlight, a win over Purdue. 8 on the shot clock on the opening trip. Tyler Bilodeau, like Cronin said, heart and soul player, spinning and hitting.
He's the top three-point shooter in this league. He loves to pump fake and power, but that was a tough shot. It's a good start for his confidence. He did not play well against Michigan, but he is a handful.
Michigan State team with 3 guys averaging in double figures, Fears, Kohler, and Carr. Shot clock at 12. It's Cohen Carr. He's long. What's the key for the Bruins to pull something off on the road tonight?
Well, obviously they can't turn the ball over and they have to shoot the 3 well, but the main key is they've got to compete on the glass. This is a team that is not tough enough right now. Michigan State rebounds 40% of their misses.
Top 3 in the country in rebounding margin are the Spartans at plus 12.6, down to 10. It's a 5. This is Dent. Donovan Dent banks it in.
It's really good defense by Michigan State. 2 possessions in a row, but tough shots by UCLA.
And a swish for Jordan Scott. Perry attacking, can't hit it. Tom Izzo said, we better rebound tonight, because he did not like the way his team did that against Wisconsin. A rare time for Michigan State to be even on the glass with somebody. Only once this season have they been out-rebounded. Carr spinning, and a good stop by the Bruins. Booker met it.
Great job by Booker not fouling. UCLA, when they stay in a stance and show their hands, and these McCronin teams are really good defensively. This team has been average. He's trying to get them to another level at that end.
Bilodeau gliding in, no. Rebound to Kohler.
It's interesting. UCLA sending 3 guards back on those shots to slow down this transition by Michigan State.
Cohen Carr with his first jam. Five straight for the Spartans. Carr coming off a 19-point showing. One of the captains for the Spartans. Another entry into Bilodeau. They have gone to Bilodeau now 3 times in the opening 3 minutes and change. Down to 8. He kicks. Dent's been searching for that jump shot all year. This time he's going to hoist a tough one. Donovan Dent came to play.
Just not confident in that 3-point shot, so he gets that midi going, and that is an awesome shot fading away.
In and out, and a stop for the Bruins. Dent looking to run. He got stripped. Defensive play by Fears. Some traffic here. Spartans will reset with 15. It's at 10. A little crossover from Tang. Cooper tries and knocks it down.
If you're the Bruins, you can live with that shot. UCLA's been tough defensively early in this game. If he's going to make mid-range jumpers all night, you just tip your hat and move on. But great start offensively by UCLA as well. Getting the ball inside to Bilodeau, not settling for threes and playing inside out.
A corner triple, and the Bruins brought their A game. That's Eric Daly Jr.
When Dent can get to the elbows, he is looking to assist.
That's a tough bucket. Jackson Kohler gets in on the fun. What a start in East Lansing.
Well, it's nice to see Jackson coming out with confidence. He's been in a slump. He's a double-double machine, but only 10 out of his last 43 from beyond the arc.
Bilodeau is short, and it's Spartans basketball. It's a UCLA team that leads the Big Ten in three-point percentage. There's a 3 and a taste of their own medicine. Kohler's come out sizzling. kick ball that takes us to it.
Somebody else beat you.
You've played against Tom Izzo's teams and have terrific, well, not necessarily terrific memories on your end in this building, but you know Coach Izzo well. What makes him so good?
His guys are always the toughest guys on the court, right? I mean, they never back down from a fight, and they run the floor. They're so impressive at sprinting the floor. You watch it on tape, and you just don't realize how fast they are until you get back on defense. And guys like Mo Peterson and Cleaves are coming at you, and it's never stopped, right? Draymond, they have athletes that know how to fly up and down the court.
10 on the shot clock. Spartans have shot 5 for their first 8. It's at 5. Down to 3. Fears launches and drills it. Just 25% from downtown on the year, and that is his 20th 3 of the campaign.
There's only 1 out of his last 10, and he gets the ball screen there. He comes off of it. Typically he gets downhill, but he's got to take that shot. It's a great screen and an elite three-point shot.
That doesn't fall for Brown. 8 straight for Sparty. Looking to bounce back. Tom Izzo said we got our behinds kicked on Friday night against Wisconsin. Started slow, got within 9, and Coach Izzo said we just couldn't do the little things.
Kohler's got a mismatch down there. They didn't find him, and wow, it's great defense by UCLA.
Give Donovan Dent his 40th steal of the season.
Well, these two guys here have to work this pick and pop action. Dent and Bilodeau. Dent's got to turn the corner. Bilodeau's got to knock down some shots. And speaking of a three-point shooter, this guy before the injury was the top three-point shooter in the country.
Sky Clark is shooting 49% from downtown. Missed the 10 games with the hamstring injury, but they have him back now. Tom Izzo said he's the X factor of this matchup.
That's the first thing that he said to us when he came over today at practice and sat down.
Nice spin move off 1 foot. Wow, Jackson Kohler.
Jackson Kohler. He's had such a great year, but he's been in a slump over the last few games. But when he gets that three-pointer going, that gives him confidence for that mid-range. It's nice to see Sky Clark on the floor. Those hamstrings are so tricky. He's been out a long time since the Iowa game, but I'll tell you what, you can't leave him open.
And this is what Tom Izzo told us earlier today. He said our defense has not been anywhere near where it needs to be. Another open look for Clark. He can't hit, but we're going to get a foul on the Spartans, fighting for the rebound.
Well, Michigan State worked on this underneath out-of-bounds defense for 10 minutes in practice today. Tom Izzo said UCLA is so physical in these situations. They'll push you, they'll bully you, and they get open shots. And Sky got a wide-open look there.
UCLA's last 7 attempts have been beyond the arc, but Michigan State, it's so rare for them to go through a defensive drought like they've been on. 5 straight games of allowing at least 75 points matches the longest streak of allowing 75 or more in the Tom Izzo era. That's way off for Dent. And now we're going to get a foul going the other. Thus far, they're just 2 of 8. Spinning, that one long. And it'll stay with the Spartans, and this is exactly what Mick Cronin talked about with his team. Jesse said, if you do not rebound the ball, you don't stand a shot in this building.
You cannot jump with Michigan State and play tip drill with Michigan State. You got to do the old school basketball camp, put your backside right in their thigh, and don't let them launch. I thought that one went off of Michigan State, but if you give Spartans a couple opportunities every other possession, you're going to have a long night. You've got to block out. We've got to keep our eye on that.
Good ball movement by the Spartans. That one long, but again, they cannot box out Jackson Kohler. So it'll be a 3rd opportunity on this possession.
Well, it looked like Perry got his hip on him, but obviously a mismatch. Bilodeau comes down to try to help out, but now there are the numbers. 12.6 rebounding margin for Michigan State. It's what they've been doing in the Tom Izzo era. You cannot jump with them. You've got to be tougher, and you've got to block out and not let them launch.
Down to 8.
There's that pick and roll action again. He's going to take the midi right there. Oh,
He
he's
is
on
hot.
fire.
Jeremy Fears Jr. has made the Bruins quite fearful. A scalding hot start with 8 on 3 of 4.
He's making every right read coming off of that ball screen action. Another forced two-point shot. And here comes Fears.
Look out! Carr almost brought the house down. 4 tries. Oh, yeah!
Use it, get 2 feet in the paint, and kick it out to a shooter if he doesn't attack the rim.
UCLA has not scored in over 4 minutes. Tom Izzo's challenge to his team: defend a heck of a lot better, and tonight the nation's 7th-ranked defense has showed up. Down to 6. Bilodeau with 3. Contested shot, and the drought continues.
Forcing fadeaway mid-range jumpers. That's just elite defense.
Well, this is exactly what Coach Izzo worked on with his group the last 2 days, Jess, because he took that personally Friday night. You just do not see the Spartans lose a game by 21 points. This is their worst loss in 4 years in terms of margin. Turnover.
Wisconsin's pretty darn good, right? They had 15 threes. And Coach Izzo said they couldn't miss, and that's about as well as they could play.
What a week for the Badgers, winning at Illinois and following that up with a dominant performance over the Spartans.
Dent has to find a way to get downhill here. He's got to attack.
Dent got to the elbow, down to 5. Turnaround is long. They are 1 for their last 12.
Well, somebody from UCLA has to force a whistle. You're going to have, even if you pick up a charge, these fadeaway soft moves at the rim, they just don't work, especially here.
Another one. This one short, but another grasp of a Big Ten regular season title.
When they're shooting the ball the way they've been shooting it lately, when you add that size to it, nobody's going to beat them.
UCLA trying to get out of a long drought. They have been ice cold, and they just turn it over. Donovan Dent instantly points to Mick Cronin.
Well, they finally got the stop that they wanted. And they pushed a fast break, and it looked like Dent threw it right at a Michigan State player. He wanted him to review it, but Coach Cronin said, look, it's not worth burning a timeout over.
Zone look. And then into a man for the Bruins. Jordan Scott. He's starting to heat up, making his 4th start of the season. Tom Izzo says he could change our ceiling. How so?
They get scoring from the wing position, an athlete on the wing position, right? Somebody who can make big shots. He's 12 points per game over his last 3, and he's 8 out of his last 17 from beyond the arc. That really changes your offense.
Tavino Ugochukwu out for the rest of the year with a foot injury. Tom Izzo said we need even more from Scott. Need more from Kurtang. 5 on the timer. Here's Sky Clark. Extra pass. Dent. No. Back to the Spartans.
Now they're down around 7 to 8, and he's trying everything. He's changing the lineups. He's playing zone defense. They just can't get the stops that they're used to getting, and they haven't gotten better over the course of the season. They've got to string a couple together. That's too open of a shot.
Oh, Jordan Scott is 3 for 3. The Spartans are 7 for 12, and Mom is loving it. 18-0 Michigan State run. UCLA hasn't scored in over 7 minutes. Perry's been silent. Here's Dent with 8. Perry stuck with 3. Another deflection. Carr dives for it. 1.1 for the Bruins.
Well, Scott's been on fire, right? And Coach Izzo said this guy's future is unlimited. And if you're late to the party, look at the arc and the rotation. And look at Mahe. That's my guy right there.
Her energy with 1.1 endless. They didn't know it. They did not realize how much time there was on the shot clock. It's a shot clock violation. A nightmare for Mick Cronin after a 30-point loss in Ann Arbor. And you look up, you haven't scored in close to 8 minutes, and you're down by 19.
Yeah, see, even in the first half at Michigan, they couldn't guard, right? They were just making shots, keeping that game close. But you get in the 40s, you know Michigan is going to blow you out in the second half. They've got to find a way right here. How about getting the ball inside to Eric Daly on the post? At least force a double. Somebody's got to have the toughness to get to the free throw line here and stop this bleeding.
Second foul, meanwhile, on Cooper. And think about now your last two halves of basketball. That's a combined 47 points that you've been outscored by. It has been bleak for the Bruins.
I like the mentality there by Dent to turn the corner and at least get to the rim.
Dent gets to his spot, and at long last, that ends an 8-minute total scoreless drought. Cooper, and one. Carson Cooper.
It was about talent and speed, and Mopeet catching lobs and dunking on everybody. It was fantastic.
What was it like facing Mopeet?
It was, I was at the back of the press sometimes, and it was just impossible, right? The only thing you could do is try to grab him, because Mateen, you know, it took two guys to slow him down. He was just like a running back crashing through the line.
Bilodeau
nice.
off the window.
Nice. Hey, get downhill for UCLA. Chip away. It's got to be at this end where things have to change.
They brought that double. It's going to be a halftime report. What a night on Peacock. Michigan getting past Purdue. Wolverines now up to 15-1 in the conference. Purdue drops to 11-4. Michigan State at 10-4. You want that triple bye in the Big Ten tournament. And again, all 18 from the Big Ten make the conference tournament this year. Nobody's left out. Cooper with Michigan State's last 7 points. They're on a 25-4 run, and this is the area that we talked with Tom Izzo about, because the turnovers, they had been an issue and have been something that he's monitoring. They only committed 9 against Wisconsin. That their 6th of the night.
Well, Fears needed to call for the ball screen there from Coop, and he just called him off, and then things got stuck on one side. They've been their best when they're moving the ball side to side.
Bilodeau. He's got half a dozen. The problem for UCLA, the best three-point shooting team percentage-wise in the Big Ten, just 2 of 10. And they got some early open looks, Jets.
They've had open looks. Perry just had an open look. If you're Michigan State, you cannot let Clark get loose. I mean, I know they're down big right here, but if there's a guy who can bring them back from beyond the arc, it's one of the nation's best three-point shooters. But the last couple possessions, they've had wide open shots. They're just not hitting them.
No, Michigan State at 64%, UCLA at 32%. Another turnover by the Spartans, and again, 224th in the country in turnover percentage. It is something to monitor. And now we get a foul on Fears, and the Spartans are at the limit to the NCAA tournament. There's no shortage of opportunity to change your season. Just look at their upcoming slate.
Oh, absolutely.
They've got Illinois this weekend, still have Nebraska at home as well.
Absolutely. They take care of business at home, especially against Illinois. They're going to be in pretty decent shape.
Shot clock at 10. Down to 6. Carr, corner. Fears. He has been red hot. Third three.
Just great defense by UCLA. They pack the paint. They force Carr to take a long three, and they forget to do the most important thing, the thing they talked about, the thing we featured off the top, block out and rebound. You give Michigan State 2 opportunities. They're going to make you pay 90% of the time.
Jeremy Fears Jr. entered this night with 19 threes made on the season. 25 games, 25% from beyond the arc tonight. He's got 3 of 5 from downtown. A different Fears. Down to 3. Fears having a nuclear half. That's a really difficult shot. Bilodeau shut him down. Clark, corner. Lid on the bucket. Tom Izzo's going to call a timeout. 3 of your last 4 games. That changes when you look at some of the sloppiness and what they've lacked from the 2 spots. But Tom Izzo still, you brought it up, he believes that his team can get to that tier and be in the final weekend. 2 on the shot clock here. Carr, he just stumbled. I'd say traveling.
Well, that's great defense. I'm still a little disappointed Graham didn't join us for steaks last night. We could have solved a lot of problems with that guy sitting there. I know. Here's the move. Carr just not confident with that 3-point shot. This is good officiating. There's nowhere to go. I sent a text to Brendan Quinn and asked him to come to dinner last night too, but he sends a text back and said he's in the Swiss Alps covering some sort of event. I think he was just over there skiing. He's gotten soft now that he's been promoted.
Good segue, partner, because we have an update from Milan coming up on the Liberty Mutual Insurance halftime report. And Brendan does a great job with the athletic. USBWA, great as well. Here's Dent down to 12, gliding, tied up, kicking. It's Clark. He knocks it down. Sky Clark.
Great job getting into the teeth of the defense, not panicking, kicking it out, and Sky's got to keep firing. I mean, forget about your legs, the hamstring, the shooting percentages.
Fears kick, clock down to 3. It's Scott, he's stuck. And that's going to take us to the break.
They focused on rebounding, and he is so happy to see his guys shooting the ball well. Now, if you're UCLA, you know, you're one of the top 3-point shooting percentage teams in the country. You got to move the ball side to side, get 2 feet in the paint, and kick out for some threes. You got to hit the open ones, especially in this first 5 minutes.
Here is Dent. With 10 on the shot clock, they shot 9 of 28 in that first half, and the cold offense continues. Fears again. He is short to tangle up here, and they're able to get something that they struggled at in the first half, a defensive rebound. Michigan State up 22-9 on the glass. Oh, Cohen Carr said no. Kick out for a 3. Bilodeau's there. Carr is everywhere tonight.
I mean, even when you finally get a wide open layup, he's there to erase it.
That's a foul. Count it.
Well, that's what you have to do, right? You take what the defense gives you. You finally stepped up and knocked in an open shot. He's a great free throw shooter as well.
Well, Nick Cronin said this morning, Tyler Bilodeau's everything he wants in a player. Came from Oregon State. He's the son of 2 parents who are both fantastic athletes. And Mick said, that allows me to be hard on him. Yeah. I could say anything to him, and he says, yes, sir.
He's got a bright future ahead of him. He can play in the NBA. I mean, he's a pick and pop guy. He's 6'9", 6'10", who can shoot the 3.
Oh, high-low. Instead, they go back to Fears, who buries it. Jeremy Fears Jr. with 4 triples. A career high 4 threes made for Fears. Clark, nice move. Couldn't cash in. Offensive rebound and a stick back for Xavier Booker, making his return to East Lansing tonight.
And Coach Cronin, what did he tell us at practice? He said the game doesn't start against Michigan State until the shot goes up, right? So you have to rebound the misses. Now, that was a weight room move right there. They're finally showing a little toughness. Another wide open 3.
For Kohler, no, there's Scott, unmanned. Yeah. Nobody was on Jordan Scott, and that has to make Mick Cronin furious. Give Scott 5 straight games of scoring in double figures, Jess.
Yeah, that's a big story in the Big Ten. And obviously, Fears hitting threes. That's an even bigger story in the league.
Bilodeau turning short. Kohler a dump down.
Against these guys, and it just hasn't gotten through to them.
Carr. Down to 6. Here's Fears. Crossover over to Tang. He's long. Rebound to Booker. Bruins trying to get back into things. Dent. And he was just met right away by Ward. Now a foul on Dent. His first. See that from Fears. Always physical, the aggressor of this team, but brings them the swagger. No question about that. Down to 6. Here is Carr.
Wow.
And Cohen Carr drills it. He's got half a dozen.
Well, I can't believe what I just saw there. I thought I saw an old Tom Davis flex play by Tom Izzo. The cross screen and leads to the mid-range jumper. And I'll tell you what, the Spartans are playing well, aren't they, John? I mean, this is really amazing to watch.
Carr gives it off. Nice delivery, and then 2 Bruins were there, Booker and Daly. Well, this is the team that we saw get in the top 25 in those opponent points per game, opponent's field goal percentage. By the way, officials clarifying a 3 from Tyler Bilodeau as he now comes off a screen and hits another rather than a 2. So it is 50-32 now, and the Bruins have gotten within 18, trying to chip away at this thing, Jess Sutters.
He is such a tough guy to guard because of his length. He rises up, even if he has a hand in his face. He leads the league in three-point shooting. You can see why, but they're finally starting to hit some of those open threes. They were so broke in the first half.
Another one for Tang. Michigan State's 10th triple of the night. The Spartans' first game hitting 10 or more threes since January 2nd at Nebraska. And driving is Bilodeau. We saw Tang come up big. That Illinois game was incredible down the stretch into regulation, then going into overtime. Tang with a huge shot as Ward hits it. And then it was Jake Davis who forced the OT with those free throws with a second left, and then Michigan State came out on top. And you think the world of that Illinois team. What'd you tell me earlier today?
Well, I'll tell you, the teams I've watched this year, I'd go with Houston right now to win the national title, and my second team would be Illinois. I think when they're healthy, they're that good. They're so physical and tough. They know how to break down a defense. I sure like the response here by Michigan State. They're not just unselfish. They pass the ball in the right spots.
Now it's Tang. The Spartans cannot miss. They have 10 twos to 11 threes tonight.
They're 6-1 over their last 7 games in this building, and their average margin of victory.
Uh-oh! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Cohen Carr! Clark, a silencer for Sky Clark. Fears downstairs. This has been a complete performance by the Spartans. Carr this time with a dish, serving dinner for Ward to feast. Timeout, Mick Cronin.
Was very involved in practice today. TK, Doug, Wojcik, Johnny, and my old buddy Sadi Washington. Those guys are phenomenal. And this guy is phenomenal. You talk about losing the one guy you can't. Look, Tom Izzo said, that's the guy we can't lose. What a shot.
It really is something what Bilodeau can do. The problem is he hasn't had enough help. Here's one big solution for the Spartans. Cohen Carr has been on point tonight, Jess Settles.
He is so fun to watch in the open court. He's hit 2 mid-range jumpers in this game. The threes are falling. He was so elite last year, played at an All-American level. You transfer up to this level and things get a lot tougher.
You know, you brought up Coach Izzo's staff, all of his great assistants. You know who you left out? Will Shear and his all-star manager crew.
There we go.
It all goes back to the managers. They get it done.
There you go.
8 on the shot clock. Down to 5. It's Scott. It's at 2. And the Bruins are going to get a shot clock violation.
Now, today on campus, it was great. Everybody was happy to see me.
They called you Great Grandpa.
Yes. Oh, it's a tough place to play. I mean, they get after you. From the moment you walk out to warm up, they're yelling something at you. Send a little help. There's the double. That's really smart. That's great defense.
And it's going the other way. Tell me what makes it great defense.
Well, Bilodeau's on fire, right? And so he is in attack mode. You know he's not going to pass that. They run the double at him, try to get the ball out of his hands. He fumbles it. And that leads to a turnover. So don't let that guy stay heated up. He's the one guy who can get him back in it.
Fears has 14. He's got a career-high 4 triples. Scramble for it here. Shot clock's down to 3. Bodies to the deck, and this is going back.
Be an atmosphere like this place, but I can't believe Patino, after all these years, is still at the top of his game. It's absolutely incredible the way that guy adjusts. I don't know if we've ever had a better coach in college basketball than that guy.
Recently passing Roy Williams with his 904th victory.
You calling that game?
Johnnies have won 11 in a row. I will be in the house for that one. We can't wait. Another tip out, and it's Spartans basketball. Fort with the effort.
I might have to put in for a 3-man booth.
On the attack. On the attack, and rebound for the Bruins. That's some contact, and it'll be they've taken since 2014-15. The Spartans, meanwhile, they just didn't have any defense against Wisconsin. 92-71 Badgers. Wisconsin made the 15 threes. They've made at least 15 against the 3 top 10 teams they've beaten, Michigan and Illinois being the others. And another foul, this one on UCLA. It's on Dent, and that's now his 3rd. Think about the Bruins and where they're at, life on the bubble, the stress that it brings. There's still opportunities, that's for certain, and good ones at home to get the Huskers and the Illini at Pauley.
They've been great at home.
14-1 at home. That one short. The one loss to Indiana. And a foul. Will send Freeney to the line.
It's almost like being a general manager is more important than being a great coach right now in this environment that we're in. And when you get on the wrong side of it, it can go south quickly. It's a good attack by Perry. He's been playing well over the last few weeks.
He has been. He hits the runner, his first make of the night.
Oh, Izzo just told the Izzo to cut it out.
Fears is short. Yes, he did, because now they're chanting, "We want Booker," and Coach Izzo doesn't want any of that involved in the the game.
You got to attack here.
Freeney, Carr, he sent that to outer space. Third of the night. Turnaround, no. Picked up by Bilodeau.
Can he soar?
It's unbelievable. I wanted him in the slam dunk contest.
Yeah.
As Perry is fouled. Points per game over the last 5. Tom Izzo said we got to defend better. We really saw that in the first half.
No matter what anybody says, right? When you're hitting threes, you defend better. And the defense does travel, and there's no excuse when you don't guard, but there's just something about that adrenaline and confidence that hits you, that gives you fresher legs. You get stops, you're hitting shots. But this has been just total domination and a tremendous defensive performance to keep UCLA out of the paint and then close out on shooters.
Ward was long, and the rebound to Dent. Spartans team that started the year at 19-2. Bilodeau hoists. He is off. One of 16 in the country with at least 6 quad 1 victories. Yeah. No shortage of quality to their resume.
And Coach Izzo and his staff have never played the...
Barry Sanders' son coming into this ball game. Awesome to see him this morning at shoot-around. You got Steve Mariucci back tonight. We've got Jaden Akins in the house. You feel it when you walk in here, and obviously you have that family culture, the history of Iowa basketball. You know it when you see it, right? The genuine love in a program.